Welcome everyone to the first introductory webinar of the Analytics Accelerator certification by EquiSkill.com. EquiSkill.com is a platform where you learn analytics directly from corporate pros and experts. We worked in Fortune 500 companies. Our vision is to make sure that every learner can draw insights from the vast amount of data to improve the state of their organization, their self, and or their country, right? And it's Kevin from Hyderabad, is Lenovo K6 Power. So welcome Kevin from Hyderabad. So we started out in the year 2015, folks, and we're real analytics professionals. We're not trainers, and we've started this platform to share analytics knowledge worldwide. We've got decades of experience, and I'm going to talk about our experience in a very short while. We make sure that we have a small class size, and it's something that we focus on so that we can work with each one of you and speak to you, chat with you, and make sure that we share our learning. So there you go. We look at having some individual attention to all of your questions and queries. The methodology that we follow at EquiSkill.com is known as click and follow workshops. So the way that works is that we're going to practice something, and then you're going to practice along with us and learn in the process. Now, what that means is that you do things and you learn by doing things, and that we think is the only way that you can learn. As one of our core values is learning and practicing ad infinitum. We have unrelenting customer commitment. It's something that we take as a credo. Now, if you look at the instructors, I am Amit, and you can see me over here, right? Let me just mark myself. There you go. That's me. And I'm a computer engineer and a master's in business administration. I've worked at Amazon.com for the longest time, followed by the GE Jack F. Welch Technology and R&D Center, and finally with the Citi Global Analytics and Insight Division. Now, those have been some of the best experiences that I've had. And we also have Ujjwal, who's actually from the Indian School of Business, the leading business school in Asia. He's actually working with HSBC Corporate Banking Analytics, and he does the corporate banking analytics for HSBC globally across the world. Now, we also have with us Alka, and I want to hand it over to Alka to introduce herself and her experience to you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. I am Alka. I'm currently working in EquiSkill.com as a digital marketing intern, and I'm a postgraduate in business analytics. I have worked for 2 years in HCL Technologies. Okay, over to you, Amit.
Right, thanks a ton there, Alka, for your introduction. We're going to move forward. You know the team, and these are some of the companies where we've actually conducted trainings and workshops globally, and some of the universities also where we've trained hundreds of professionals on analytics. But the reason, folks, why we're here today, and this slide is important, is that the data is exploding. Okay, and the statistic that I want you to remember is that every 2 years, every 2 years, the data currently is more than doubling. Okay. So in 2 years from now, and I'm talking about the year 2019, the total amount of data that mankind will have is going to be 2x, exactly twice the amount of data that we have today in 2017. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why you're all here. It's because of the vast amount of opportunities that that data presents to us. Let's look at some of the statistics to get a better sense of this, right? Twitter, 277,000 tweets every minute. Now, who's going to make sense of that? Are they saying good things, or are they saying not so good things about the president, for example? Google, 400,000 searches, right, every minute. What are they looking for? Are they looking for something that you can offer them? Are they looking for services? Are they looking for food? Are they looking for a ride on a cab? I don't know. Amazon's learned how to do business, so they're actually making $83,000 a minute. You read that right, it's $83,000 a minute. Now, these are staggering statistics, but look at Pinterest, look at, Pandora, look at Instagram. Instagram's hugely popular, right? And look at the variety of data. So you've got at Instagram, you've got images, right? At WhatsApp, you've got text, you've got images. At Facebook, well, video, text, images. Google is text. People are searching right now with text. In the future, you might be able to search using more than just text, but so YouTube is video. So this is unstructured data. What is unstructured data? Unstructured data is data that you cannot put into a table. Anything that you can put into a tabular format is structured data. And this is the reason why we're talking today, isn't it? Because there's so much data. Now, because of this, data science has become one of the hottest jobs of the 21st century, no matter which geography you're based out of. If you're based out of the US or globally, this here is the global ranking. But if you look at Asia, if you look at the US, North America, it's pretty much up there in the top 5 jobs. I want to talk about the different kind of analytics, but before that, I'll ask you this, right? And put your answers in the chat box, Amy. By the way, welcome Amy to the webinar. You can say hello to everyone in the chat box, Amy, and introduce yourself. Welcome Raman, G Raman to the webinar. Welcome Jatin, right? Please introduce yourselves and in the chat box. And you'll see the chat box flashing in a short while, Amy. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question and I need a reply in the chat box, right? What is the business that Facebook is into? Simple question. What business is Facebook into? What do we all do on Facebook? Simple. Okay, folks, so we need your responses, yeah? Everybody has to respond in the chat box, yeah? Okay, social networking, absolutely. Okay, Nate says, connecting people. Jatin says social networking. Taheen says social networking. You're absolutely right. How about LinkedIn, right? It's a little different from Facebook. Okay, a little different from Facebook on LinkedIn. What do you do there? What kind of networking is that if Facebook is social networking? Right, you guys got it, right? Professional networking. But if you look at it, no matter what kind of networking we go to these platforms for, right? That's not actually the business that they're into. Eventually, the business that they're into is the business of data. Data, folks, is the new soil. Data is the new oil that people are investing in. In the 80s, it was all about oil companies like Chevron, Exxon, Mobil. Well, today, fast forward, 30 years, it's all about data. Somewhere in between, it was about products, like Microsoft or Adobe. But today, it's all about data. Now, let me ask you, what are the different kinds of analytics that you've heard of? Okay, so I need Amy and Raman to be a little more active. Welcome, folks, to the webinar. Amy and Raman, please participate. Jatin, Tuheen, Nate, very active. Nitesh, right? Vignesh, and there's someone called GR. Okay, could you please mention your name, GR? Okay, so I've heard one kind of network, one kind of analytics, which is big data analytics. Sure. So I want to thank you, Kevin from Hyderabad. So Kevin from Hyderabad, you're right. Big data analytics is one kind of analytics. Now, for the rest of you, have any of you ever heard of the word analytics used with another word? Let me give you a hint. For example, data analytics, right? Okay. So could you tell me what are the different kinds of analytics that you've heard of? Simple question. Come on, I'm sure you've heard of it, folks. So don't feel shy. The only thing that's better than the right answer is the wrong answer, okay? So there we go. Okay, so I'm getting web analytics from Nate. I'm getting business analytics from Tuheen. Nitish says Google Analytics. Thank you so much, folks. How about Amy? How about G Raman? You guys? Okay, so answer the next question for me, folks, okay? Now, I want to simplify this for you. Fundamentally, folks, there are only 3 different kinds of analytics, and I'm going to share these 3 different kinds of analytics with you now. The 3 different kinds of analytics are, well, they're descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive analytics. Okay. So let's just understand these three kinds of analytics: descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. And as you can see, it gets more sophisticated as you go up, right? Which means it gets complex, it gets difficult. It also means that you can handle more data and more complex problems by using the techniques above. So let me simplify this for you. Every other kind of analytics that you've heard of is a subset of these three kinds of analytics. These are the supersets. So what is descriptive analytics? Let's start with that, right? Now, let me ask you the question that, one of you asked the question, is the video available after the webinar? Yes, it will be, okay? Now, my question to you is, if you're running a business, okay, wouldn't you want to know what happened to the sales last month? Okay, so today is the 31st of August, okay? So wouldn't you want to know how the sales were in the month of August? Yes or no? Simple question. If you're running the business, you're the CEO, wouldn't you want to know how sales went in August? Yes or no? Please put it in the chat box. Simple question. All of you can answer. Absolutely yes, right? Okay. So whenever you want to know what is going on in your business, what you're doing is you're doing descriptive analytics. Okay. What just happened in my business in August? How was the sales in August? So whenever you answer that question, you're doing descriptive analytics, which means you're describing what's going on in your business. Okay. Now, as you can notice, describing something like that is usually an activity that is done for data that happened in the past. So you can see here I've got the word hindsight written on the left hand side, which is the past. Now, if I tell you, in answer to your question, what's going on in your business, I say, you know what? In your business, sales went down by 20%. Okay. It went down by 20% in the month of August. So what's your next question going to be? Right? Absolutely. So Lenovo says, did I sell more or less than previous months? Now, if I say to you, Kevin, if I say to you guys that sales went down by 20% and this is what happened last month, what's your next simple question going to be if you're running the business? All of you will ask this question. Sales went down by 20% last month, so what's your next question? Come on, folks. Answer in the chat box. It's a simple word. It's a 3-letter word. Starts with W. There you go. Come on, folks. You have to try. You have to try. It's simple. If what happened is sales went down, yes. And Nate has the question. It's why did it go down? Now, Kevin's got an advanced question, like which product was not sold enough, okay? But Tuhin also has the same question which Nate has, which is why did it go down? And this second question is predictive analytics. You're trying to predict, you're trying to gain some insight into why things happened the way they happened in your data. So what happened? Well, that's describing the business. And that's what you do when you make reports, when you make charts, when you make metrics, when you pull data from a database. All these things are descriptive analytics. But why things happen the way they happened, you are now trying to gain some insight. And you can see that word over here. It's not about hindsight. It's about insight. You're trying to predict why things happened the way they happened. If you know why sales went down in August, you might want to predict and model next August, which is August of the year 2018. And make sure you're ready for the fact that sales is going to be a little lower. You can forecast it. You can forecast the supply you need, and you can forecast how to increase the sales. But your next natural question is why, and predictive analytics answers that question. Now, there's a lot of techniques, and I'll talk about them later. But what you've learned so far is, what's going on in your business, describing your business is descriptive analytics. Why things are happening the way they're happening in your business, understanding insight is predictive analytics. And the last one is, now that you know that sales went down in August, your next question was, why did it go down? And suppose I say August, the fall season is about to start in universities and colleges, and so sales went down. Now, what do you want to do in September? What's your next question? What would you want to do in September? Come on, folks, everyone, nice and easy. Sales went down in August. You know it went down for a particular reason. You're running a business. So what would you want to do in September? It's not about analytics. It's just about running a business. Okay. So come on, folks. Vignesh, Amy, Ankush, Raman, Nate, Nitish. Thanks a lot. You've been active. Tuheen. Yes.
Yeah, can you please repeat your question once?
So the question is, now that you know what's happened in your business, which is that sales went down, and why it's happened, because it's the fall semester is about to come, and August is just before the fall semester in the US. So, you know, people don't buy stuff right now, but they'll buy it in September. What's the next question you're going to ask me? Right? Okay, there we go. So Nate's replied, right? How can we do better? How can we add new product, right? And that's the third point. The third point is, how can we improve the state of our business? The moment you ask the question, how do we proceed going forward, okay, then what you're asking is prescriptive analytics. You want analytics to prescribe a way to move forward in the future. What you want is, you want some foresight into how you want to do business in the month of September, given that you've got some data in August and you've got some trends in August. Folks, these are the three different kinds of analytics. If anyone asks you, the three different kinds of analytics fundamentally are what, why, and how, which translates into descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive analytics. The most advanced versions, you know, is a prescriptive analytics, which is machine learning. But everything else you talked about, for example, web analytics, one of you talked about, is the application of all of these three techniques to the data of websites. So it's basically web data, and that's web analytics. Now, some of you talked about big data analytics. So big data analytics is really easy. It's the application of all three of these techniques to data that is, for example, larger than 1 gigabyte. And that needs big data analytics tools like Hadoop or Spark, and that is big data analytics. Similarly, if you look at, for example, HR analytics, it's about applying descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive analytics to the domain of human resources. Similarly, for financial analytics or healthcare analytics. So now you know the three kinds of analytics. We'll move ahead. As you can see here, analytics gets applied in a lot of domains, okay? And I want to give you some simple examples, yeah? Again, I need your participation, folks, to make this come alive, yeah? Now, suppose I have the American Express Silver credit card, okay? And I have a lot of money. You realize that I have a lot of money. But I've just got an American Express Silver credit card. What would you try to sell me next if you're working for American Express? Please put your answer in the chat box. You know I have the Silver credit card and I have a lot of money. And you got it, right? Nate says the Gold credit card, and that's exactly what you do in analytics when you do something called upselling, where you sell me a higher category of the same product. The question is, how do I figure out, okay, what product to sell? Should you sell me Gold? Should you sell me Platinum? Now you need analytics to help you there, Nate, right? And that's where we use analytics for upsell modeling. So we do predictive analytics to see what we can upsell to millions of customers. Now suppose I already have the best credit card that American Express can offer me, which is the Platinum, right? Platinum Reserve, okay? Absolutely top of the line. I can check into airports all over the world, use the lounges. So you can't sell me any more credit cards. I already have the Platinum, right? But you can sell me other financial products. What are the financial products that you could sell me if you couldn't sell me credit cards, but you know I have a lot of money? Anyone? Nice and easy, folks. All of you can answer. Amy, Ankush, you've been quite silent. I'm going to unmute you folks and get you to talk in a short while, okay? So please answer in the chat box. Okay, insurance is a good answer, right? Insurance is a good answer. What else? Yes.
We can ask for some investment plans, like because the American Express they have their own department also for some loan or something, some properties. So we can ask you to invest in those, and we will give you some profit on that. Maybe some kind of investment, in short.
All right. Boom. Right. So thanks a ton. And Nate said pretty much the same thing. Investments. Tuhin talked of loans. But now the question is, how will you know what to sell me? This is known as cross-selling. You're selling me something different from the product I already have. But is it going to be
So
loans? Is it going to be investments? Is it going to be, what is it going to be? So to know which one of these you want to sell millions of people using the data, you have to use a technique known as cross-selling modeling. Okay. Similarly, you can make segments of customers, right? Different segments like the ultra rich folks, right? Or the middle class or the low or the budget or the value segment, right? You can forecast demand of a particular product using analytics. You can do something called A/B testing, which surprisingly is what Barack Obama did in his re-election campaign bid. So he had a team that did analytics in his re-election campaign bid. Okay. And Tuhin, you're right. Cross-selling depends on the customer profile. Now, what to sell people on the basis of what product they already have is a technique known as market basket analysis, which you see over here. And we teach you that in this course as well. Now, going back to Barack Obama, he had many different emails that his team, sent across to a sample of American voters, right? Let's say email one is, we request your contribution to Barack Obama's re-election campaign bid. And suppose email number two is, I, Barack Obama, request your help to get me re-elected as the President of the United States of America. Now, which one would you be likely, to donate? In the case of E1 or in the case of E2?
E2.
E2, okay, and a lot of people say E2. And this, folks, is a crude form of what Barack Obama's team, award-winning team did, okay? They actually sent sample emails to the entire American population to figure out which ones would get maximum contributions. And the results were, well, they were supposed to be close to around $200 million under that particular campaign got. Okay. And it made a big difference to his re-election campaign bid, right? And sure, some of you may like email one, but that's the whole point. Now, what we just did right now is known as A/B testing. Okay. Which is you test two different products to see which one is going to sell more, right? Now these are all the industries where you can apply analytics, and you can see that on your screen right now. We've got a live demo coming up of analytics in a short while. Banks are huge consumers of analytics, as you can see, because you're reducing the number of branches. You're trying to move things to the internet, trying to move things to IVR. But even functions like HR, 82% of business leaders didn't like the fact that HR was not using analytics in the past. But today, right, even HR is using analytics in a big way. And this is PricewaterhouseCoopers here talking about the fact that, HR is using analytics and gaining results out of analytics, right? So all of the fields that you see in the slide before here, if I were to talk about this slide, helps you understand the different applications of analytics in retail, in financial, online, right, retail, healthcare, telecom, and social media, right? And if you Google these techniques, you can learn about each one of these techniques, right? And how analytics helps us in these techniques. Now, the analytics career paths, is A for both technical people as well as functional people. So the blue line that you see is the business track, but the green line is the technology track. So no matter if you're from technology or business, there are roles and jobs in analytics. There are ways in which you can use analytics to your advantage. You need three things to know analytics. You need to know data science techniques like logistic and linear regression, which we teach you. You need to learn certain tools like Tableau and R, which we'll show you today in a short while. And you also need business skills, right? Which is the understanding of the domain. This is something that you gain when you actually work, okay, on a particular domain, for example, HR or finance, That's when you learn the domain. But you get a flavor of that in a course as well.
Sorry to interrupt. So where does this machine learning and Python and the Hadoop comes? Because I just inquired about the data science. So whenever we look for the course content, so we can see R, Python, machine learning, MongoDB. So these things. So where these falls?
Yes. Thank you so much for that question. First of all, it's important to be able to differentiate between technologies and analytics, right? So when you talk about tools, okay, you could use the tools that we just spoke of, MongoDB as a database, or Hadoop, right, MapReduce, or Python. We could use them to do all these three kinds of analytics, okay? But where they're popularly used is when you talk about MongoDB for a second, right? Or when you talk about Hadoop, okay? Or when you talk about Spark, right? These are technologies, and there are many technologies in analytics. And these are the technologies that are used a lot for big data analytics, which is analytics on the scale, data sets that are greater than 1 GB, okay? Now, when you talk of Python, Python is actually a programming language. You can use it for smaller data sets as well. What is more popular in the world of analytics right now for the data science folks is actually R, but it's a huge competition today between R and Python. And I think the right answer would be that you need to learn both. I'm going to compare these two tools for you in a very short while, and you can understand even better, right, which tool to use. Now, if you look at it, the way that tools are being used in the industry today are a little bit like this, right? You use for descriptive analytics, you will see that a lot of people are using softwares like Tableau. They're also using something called MSBI, Microsoft Business Intelligence. There are also a lot of popular tools like ClickView, okay? And these are used for data visualization as well as visual analytics, okay? Now, when you look at predictive analytics, right now, what's being used very popularly is R, Python, okay? And these are used in a big way for predictive analytics. In the past, you will see that SAS was very popular, but these days it's actually losing its popularity, right? And there were many more legacy tools in the past before SAS, so let me not get into that. But where we are as of today is that this is really where the salaries are worldwide. If you look at it, the salary is above 100,000 US dollars, okay, for a typical resource. Python, well, easily above 90,000 US dollars, right? So very, very lucrative fields, and also open source technology, so you don't have to pay a lot for them. But when you look at machine learning and prescriptive analytics, especially on big data sets, well, machine learning is done easily using Python and R as well. But when you look at big data is usually, these days you see Spark being used a lot, as well as Hadoop, okay? So that's just to explain the technology scene to you a little bit there, okay? But please hold on, right? Some of these are reporting tools to him, but you can also do predictive analytics in Tableau, not just reporting, okay? Tableau is also for predictive analytics, right? So this is the Accelerator program, and we're about to get into the demo now of Tableau. We'll have a live demo, and we'll show you Tableau, and all of you will have a chance, if you've installed Tableau, to practice Tableau on this data set, right? Now, the way that the course goes is, you do not need any prior knowledge, okay, of analytics to join this course. We're going to start right from the basics and take you through all the information that you need, including the very basics of statistics, couple of classes, followed by introduction to R, Tableau, SQL, and MSBI, right? So you will be introduced to all of these tools. You will be made very comfortable with the tools. Even if you've never written one line of code in your life, don't worry about it. People come here, and when they leave, they have intermediate or advanced level of expertise. After that, we get into the detailed classes on analytics. And as you can see here, you're going to learn regression, which is the ability to predict things, right? Being able to predict how much sales is going to happen, being able to predict whether to give a person a loan or not, being able to forecast the sales next year, being able to take a lot of complex decisions in an environment that is constantly changing. Social media analytics on Twitter. You'll be able to analyze Twitter comments and you'll see that in a very short while. Sentiment analytics, market basket analytics, which is the Amazon recommendation engine, which basically means being able to predict what people are going to buy on the basis of what they've already purchased. And then upselling and cross-selling is clustering and segmentation, right? So you learn all of these and you'll get a very detailed project as well, a capstone project where you'll practice on a large data set and get real feedback. We're one of the only websites that's going to give you one-on-one rich feedback on the work that you actually did, right? And you will receive the PowerPoint after the session for your reference. Your next free class is on Saturday. And on Saturday, you're going to learn advanced descriptive analytics as well as touch the beginning of predictive analytics using Tableau. At pretty much the same time. We'll start just 30 minutes before this time on Saturday. But now it's time for your exciting demo. As far as the course page goes, if you actually go to our website, okay, and here you'll notice that I blog a lot on Quora, and I'll share my link with you. So we're one of the top writers globally on analytics. If you look at it, currently ranked at number 4 globally on analytics. You'll see we've got a Facebook page, facebook.com/EquiSkill. We're rated 4.8 out of 5 on Facebook. And we've got the website. So on the website, you will see the Analytics Accelerator certification. It's $289 for people globally. Okay, and in India, it's 18,900 Indian rupees for those that are based out of India. And here's the course page. So if you want to look at the course page details, it's all here, folks, right? Including the feedback from the customers. Let me share this with you in the chat box. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we will touch machine learning in this course. So Ankush has a question. Will we be learning machine learning in this course? Yes, we will be introduced to machine learning in this course, the gradient descent algorithm. This course is totally focused on R, Tableau, and MSBI, right? So it's going to use these, R, Tableau, and MSBI. Okay, those are the technologies we'll focus on. And the reason we're doing that is, if you look at, globally, the data science community, if you just type R versus Tableau in Google, you'll get a link that is on this website called Data Camp. So you might want to also just type Data Camp, right? And you'll get this nice link here, choosing between R and Tableau. Okay, I'm going to share this link with all of you. If you are going to be, in the data science world, and if you're going to apply data science, I strongly recommend that you go through this and understand, what goes on, right? And if you look at R versus Tableau, you'll see that both of them started out in 1991 and 1995 respectively. So pretty much the same, used in the 90s. Now you'll see, the key thing is that the folks that are in data science here, right, they use R. Statistics, research, data science, data analytics, R. And the folks that are in the engineering world and they need to put things into production, into IT systems, specifically into production, they use Python a lot, right? Very often people pick up both the skills, but the data scientists typically start out with R. And you'll also see that R, has picked up and gained in popularity over the last few years. So this is the popularity of R here. While Python around the same time has come down a little bit, but of late again it's gone back up again. So there you go. I think they're both very comparable. In terms of wages and salaries, I think R is typically $115,000 a year, and Python around $94,000 a year. Again, pretty comparable, but R probably is up there with around $20,000 more per year. Very useful link, okay, for all of you. Okay, so I'm going to copy this link and share this with all of you in your chat box, so you can open it up on your computers. I've actually done that already. There you go. Now it's time for your demos, right? So I hope you guys are excited. We're going to start off with a few demos. You don't need to be an engineer to attend this program, to be very clear. And a lot of people have actually, taken career support from us across the world, right? And we've been able to help them fix their resumes and get them a lot of different, opportunities like interviews and offers, and they've joined jobs as well. And it's best that you read feedback about us, on Quora.com. So this is the feedback link here, which I'm going to share with all of you before our demo. So you want to read the feedback on Facebook, right? As well as read the feedback on Quora.com from a lot of people who actually, got a job. So some of the people here that you see, like Anjani, he was looking for a job, and as it so happened, he is working now in analytics, and many people, found, opportunities like that along with this. Now this is Parth, he's working for eBay. Okay. So those are some of the feedbacks that I thought I'd share with you before we start off. Now it's time for your Tableau demo, right? So we're going to open up Tableau. Tableau is a software that you use not just for reporting. So one of the biggest misconceptions is that we use Tableau only for reporting, and that's not true, right? So Tableau is used for both descriptive as well as predictive analytics. Now, mind you, all the software that you need for this program are actually free of cost. So once you join the program, and I hope you're attending the free class on Saturday on Tableau, where we'll go deep into analytics. And what we're going to do now is actually introduce you to a software called Tableau. Now, why should you learn Tableau, folks? Well, the reason you should learn Tableau is because it's now the #1 tool globally along with Microsoft Business Intelligence. So if you type Gartner, right, Gartner Magic Quadrant on business intelligence and platforms, you'll notice that right on top this year for Gartner is Tableau and Microsoft. Okay, so I'm going to share this link with you, but as you can see on your screens, right, currently Tableau is #1 in the leaders quadrant along with Microsoft Business Intelligence, MSBI, and you're going to learn both Tableau and MSBI in this program. Okay, along with the predictive tools, there's a different Gartner quadrant for the predictive tools. Okay. Okay, so we've got a quick question. Let me just see what we have here. The Tableau class is on Saturday at India time 7:30 p.m., which is going to start 30 minutes before today's webinar. And what time is that in the US? We'll just let you know. 7:30 p.m. is 10 a.m. Eastern time. 10 a.m. Eastern time on the US, folks. There you go. Okay. Here we go. So this is Tableau, and this is a little bit like the first screen in Tableau. And to make you very comfortable with this, right, what you see is on the left-hand side, you've got the ability to connect with many different data sources. So these are some of the data sources here: Excel, text, spatial files. But if you click on more, you realize that Tableau is capable of connecting with all of the tools like Amazon Redshift, right? That's a database. You can connect with SAP HANA. Okay, so HANA is SAP's analytics platform. Okay, so that's SAP HANA. You can connect with all the big data tools like Hadoop and Spark, right? So MongoDB as well. Okay, so you spoke of that a short while ago. So you can integrate, all of these platforms and many more. Okay, so at least 20 plus platforms with Tableau. It really speaks to every software out there. Okay, but you will see that Tableau is a great combination with R. So R plus Tableau has a huge demand because you have the ability to not just do predictive analytics using R, but also do visual analytics using Tableau, and we learn what that is in a very short while. For the time being, what I'm going to do now is connect to a data source called the Global Superstore dataset, right? And as long as you have the Mac operating system or you have Windows, you should be able to install Tableau R, right? So you want to temporarily, have either Mac or Windows on your computer in order to use all the big data analytics softwares, right? Now I'm going to connect to a data set, and let me show you how we do that. I'm going to click on Excel, and I'm going to click on Connect to Excel on the left-hand side of the pane, and I'm going to connect to a data set called Global Superstore. All of you will get access to this data set, okay? Now Tableau is actually executing and it's going to open up the data set. And what you see now is a screen where on the left-hand side, you see the 3 different tables in this data set. You have all the orders that were placed, all the people that placed the orders, and all of the returns that we got globally, right? Now I'd like to have a look at the orders. So I'm going to drag orders out and drop it here on the canvas area. Now this area is known as the canvas area. So once I drop it here, boom, immediately you see all the data below, and it's nice and easy to understand what kind of data you have here, right? Because you see that there's visual sort of, clues on what kind of data you have here. Okay, so I'm going to show you the visual cues, and I'll share all of you, I'll share with you the link to download Tableau free of cost, 100% legal across the world. Now, whenever you see a hash, it's actually numerical data. Whenever you see an ABC, okay, so it's qualitative data. We call it qualitative data. Okay, numerical is quantitative data, right? Okay, so this is quantity, this is tablet. Now this is a calendar here. Whenever you see a calendar icon, okay, then the kind of data you have there is known as temporal data, which is about time, date, time, day of the week, the month. All of those are temporal data. And then you have another funny one here. Let me just talk about it. So you've got something that looks like planet Earth with two lines running across, up and across, right? And this is geographical data. It's also known as geospatial data. Okay, these are the four different kinds of data that you see here, in Tableau. We're going to work on this in a very short while. And Tableau is pretty intelligent. It works like a database. So if I pull out the returns, I notice that Tableau automatically finds something in common between the orders and the returns. And when I click on it, I realize that the markets, there's a field called market, and it's there in both the tables, in orders as well as in returns. Let me go and look for this. So I'll just scroll all the way to the right here. And the markets are Asia Pacific, EU, LATAM, North America, right? So it looks like this field is there in both of the data sets. Now, for the time being, I'm going to remove the returns, and we'll just focus on all the orders that we've placed. And I'm going to show you something called visual analytics, right? Now understand that people think that they're very good at numbers, okay? And I'm going to talk about this for a very short while. Let me just pull up a small example that I'll share with you, or maybe let me share the example later. But more than numbers, people are great at seeing things and visualizations. And this is where Tableau really helps you, right? I'm going to click on sheet 1 at the bottom of the screen on the left-hand side, right? And it'll help you start off your analysis in Tableau. So it's over here, and it's called sheet 1. And this is how you work in Tableau in sheet 1, okay? Thanks a lot, whoever is drawing on the board. I really appreciate your assistance. Okay, so I'm going to actually clear your drawing if you don't mind, okay? And I'm going to click on sheet 1 over here. There we go. And this is how you work on Tableau. Now you come to the next screen, which looks a little bit like the pivot that you've actually seen somewhere in Excel. If some of you have seen the pivots in Excel, only that it's a lot more powerful, right? Now look at how Tableau works, okay? I'd like to see how I'm doing in different markets. How are my orders doing in different markets, okay? And I can also see that there's some categories of products that I'm selling. On the left-hand side, I can see that there are some segments, okay? I can also see customer segments. I can see the markets in which I'm selling. So if I want to understand how much am I selling in different markets, right? Look at how easy that is in Tableau. I'll take category, okay, and I'm going to drop it on top of the rows, right? I'm going to drop the quantity of sales on the columns. And I also want to see the different customer segments, yeah? Already I can see when I drop, category on rows, I can see 3 categories: furniture, office supplies, and technology. Clearly, office supplies is the maximum sales. Now, I'm going to now also drop the segment to look at the different customer segments. I'm going to drop the segment on top of the rows, and boom. The moment I do that, it breaks up all of the 3 categories: furniture, office supplies, and technology, into the different segments. And as it turns out, I'm selling to consumers, I'm selling to corporates, and I'm selling to home office segment as well. Home office is a nice way of saying mom and pop shop, folks. Okay. Now, suppose I'd like to see how I'm doing in these segments for these categories across the world, right? So I find the field called market, and I'm going to drag markets and drop it to the columns. As easy as that, and boom, I can now see how I'm doing in these categories and segments in Africa, APAC, Canada, EMEA, EU, LATAM, and US. But it doesn't stop there. Suppose I want different colors. That's nice and easy in Tableau. I'm going to drag markets. I'm going to come and drop it here on top of color. And here is your very first analysis, your visualization of the quantity of sales globally in different segments of customers for the different categories of products that we sell. Can you answer the question, which is the weakest market for us? Okay. And it's on your screen. All of you can see it. Please answer the question.
Canada.
Okay, there you go. It's Canada, right? Now, can you tell me which are the emerging markets for us? So thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Nate. Which are the emerging markets where we seem to be just growing now? Yeah. APAC and LATAM. Okay, absolutely. So I think if you look at it, right, Africa and EMEA, we've got even lesser quantities than LATAM and APAC. APAC and LATAM were definitely emerging. Africa and EMEA may be nascent markets where we're just beginning to grow, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to annotate these findings. So first up, I'm going to name this global sales performance. Okay. And I'm going to annotate a couple of things, which means I'm going to leave a comment and I'm going to say Canada. I'm going to annotate this area and I'll just say new market, right? And in front of Africa, I'm probably going to say emerging market. Yeah. So I can annotate this point and I can actually say emerging markets. I can leave my comments. Notice, folks, that you do not need to go to PowerPoint to present. Okay. I'm going to just present right here in Tableau using the presentation mode. There you go. And you can see the comments as well, right? Isn't this a really powerful way to understand and analyze your data? How many of you like Tableau already? Yeah, say yes in the chat box if you do, folks. And we're going to get into something even more interesting. If you like what you see, I'm going to show you something even more advanced. So Nate, definitely yes. Ankush, yes. So then let's learn something more. Okay, let's go ahead. I want to understand exactly how am I doing in terms of revenue and profits, not just the quantity of sales. Okay, because right now what I see here, I see only the quantity, and you know what, I might have sold 500,000 pens, but each pen was just maybe 50 cents, so I didn't make a lot of money, did I? Okay, so let me move on to my next view, and I'm going to add a view. How do I do that? Well, at the bottom of your screen again, over here, right here at the bottom of your screen, you can add your next view to explore this data visually, and I'm going to do that. Okay, so my next sheet, the first sheet, I'm going to name this global sales performance, or I'll just call it global quantity sold, because it's just quantity, right? It's not exactly sales. Yeah. Okay, global quantity sold. Now next sheet, I'm going to work on something a little more interesting. Yeah, this gets even better. I need to see the sales in different countries. So I click on sales in the measures. I click on country in the dimensions. Now, it's easy for you to understand dimensions and measures in Tableau. And I'm going to teach you in a very simple way. Measures are things that you want them to be in a particular range, okay? For example, when a baby is born, you'd like the height of the baby to be above a certain number, but below a certain number, right? And so that is a measure, the height of the baby. Or the temperature of the baby. You'd love for the temperature to be normal, which is 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit, isn't it? Again, the temperature of the baby when the baby is born is also a measure, right? So these are measures. These are things that you want them to be high or low. You want them to take a particular value, okay? Now, some of the examples of measures are quantity sold. You want it to be high. You want profits to be high. You want sales to be high. But what about discounts and shipping cost? If you're running a business, would you want the discount and the shipping cost to be high, or would you want it to be low? Please say yes in the chat box. Please comment in the chat box, folks. High or low for discounts and shipping cost if you're running a business? You're right, low. So you're absolutely right, right? So measures can sometimes be high, they can sometimes be low. Point is you're measuring it, right? It needs to take on a certain value. But dimensions are things that they're not high or low. They just describe your data. So let's take some examples. When the baby is born, the baby has a certain color. You don't care what color it is. You know, babies are adorable no matter what color they are, right? The baby has a certain gender, okay? Now, again, you're okay. You don't want a male or a female. You're okay with whatever gender the baby has. The baby has a certain color of the eyes. They might have blue eyes, green eyes. Sure, you'd love blue eyes, but you have no problems with brown eyes or black eyes. So you don't want these to take a particular value. They just describe your baby, or they just describe your data. So now, folks, are you all completely clear on what are dimensions or measures, right, in Tableau? Are you all clear on dimensions and measures? Please say yes if you are, and I'll show you one more exciting visualization. Okay, Nate says yes. How about everyone else? Okay, fantastic. The next visualization is about country and sales, but I'll show you a fantastic feature called Show Me. Now, on the top right corner of your screen, you see something called Show Me, and this is where it is. Okay, there you go. I'm going to click on Show Me after clicking on country and sales. I've selected both of these using the control button on my Windows computer. If you have a Mac, you might have to use the command button. After I select them, I click on Show Me. And Show Me recommends a lot of different graphs. It says, hey, you could use any one of these graphs, okay? But there's one particular graph that Show Me is really excited about, and that is, this graph here. It says, we would actually, Tableau recommends that you use this graph. It's got the lines around it, indicating that Tableau wants you to use this graph for these two data. Now, this is beautiful because most of the times you don't know what visualization to use for what kind of data. So I'm going to double click this graph here and watch what happens next, folks, okay? The moment I double click, it immediately draws the sales across the world in each of the countries. But that's not enough. I need to know each of the states. For example, in the United States, where am I making the sales? So I'll take the state and I can drop that on the map as well, on the Pacific Ocean. The moment I do that, I can see the sales in each of the different states in those countries. Okay, for example, the United States or Australia. But that's not enough either. I'd love to see where I'm making profits or not. I can see that California is pretty big on sales, and so is New York, and so is Washington. But what about the profits, right? Kevin Patel says, cool. This is, well, it's super cool. So come on Saturday and you'll be even more excited, okay? So where are we making the profits is a real question, okay? We're running a business here, not an NGO. So I take profit and I drop it from measures on top of colors. The moment I do that, I get orange for negative profit, like Texas or Illinois or Ohio or Pakistan or Turkey or New Zealand, and I get deep blue for profits. But wouldn't it be great if I could see profits in green and losses in red? Yeah. So I'll just go to colors and I'll edit it, and look at how easy this is in Tableau. It's fantastic, right? There you go. Just going to step up the colors to 6 and use the full color range, and you have an excellent view. Now, what I'll also do is just increase the size of these bubble graphs just a little bit to improve the visualization. And I'm going to increase, the transparency or decrease the opacity and give it a nice little border there, right, folks? Okay. There you go. So I've done that, and now I get a picture of the sales and profits globally, and I can present this to all of you, right? Not only that, if I would like to filter this, okay, I can go to any particular country and research that particular country to kick off my analytics on this particular data set. So this is the United States. There you go. Nice and easy. So Arizona, Colorado, not a lot of profits, Illinois, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, but huge profits in New York, California, Washington, right? Mexico is pretty profitable as well, right? LATAM seems to be pretty profitable, and I can unpin the view. I can even add things like the customer segment. Okay, so I could right click on the segment and I can make this interactive, right? By adding that as a filter. And I've added segment on the top right corner. You can see segment added as a filter. You'll say, Amit, how do I care? Well, you care because now this map is interactive. So I'll click on corporate. This is a corporate segment. I'll click on home office. This is a graph for home office. As you can see, corporate has deeper losses. Home office has lighter losses. Consumer segment, and these are all the segments. So this is an interactive map now, and you can add many more interactivities. This sheet is going to be called Global Sales and Profits. Not only that, you can, do your predictive analytics as well in Tableau. And how do you do that? Well, join up on Saturday. Over here, where you have the dimensions, you have the data tab. There's also a tab called the analytics tab, and you click on that and you can do all kinds of analysis. Right now, for example, you could create clusters, right? And you could create, for example, 4 clusters over here. This is a cluster analysis, okay? So what we're doing right now is creating different clusters, right? So there's many possibilities in terms of the predictive analytics that you can do using Tableau. It's a very sophisticated tool. Okay, how many of you are excited to see a demo of Twitter? And would you like to see what people are saying about Bitcoins across the world on twitter.com? Say yes if you're excited. All right. Absolutely. Kevin Patel says yes. Okay, Nate, yeah, there you go. All right, folks. So it's over to Alka, who's going to show you Twitter sentiment analytics. You will be able to do this at the end of this course, right? So you will get a developer account on Twitter free of cost, and you'll be able to analyze tweets by people worldwide, okay? So Alka, I'm making you the host. Over to you. There you go.
So guys, let's get started with text mining in R. Let me share my screen with you.
By the way, how many of us are seeing R for the first time? Don't be scared.
Yeah. So here is the R console. So what we are going to do is we are going to analyze visually information extracted from a social media platform, that is Twitter. I'm sure everyone of you has heard about Twitter. Yeah. So by using this platform R is a statistical software. So the code looks really complicated, but it's not complicated that much. I assure you, you'll end up writing this code by yourself after the end of the course. Okay. So just to introduce it, we have 4 windows here. One is the scripting console here, where we write the code, and the other is the output console, where we see the output. Okay, where the code gets executed. The third one is the environment, all the variables that gets executed in the scripting console. And the fourth one is where we see any types of graphs, charts, or any packages we have to install, or any files that need to be loaded. Okay. So here we are going to talk about text mining. We are going to analyze data from Twitter, that is tweets. What really people talk about. So here we choose a specific topic like Bitcoins. So what people really talk about Bitcoins, we are going to extract that information and then visualize that in the form of a word cloud. So here's what we get. So this is the word cloud about Bitcoins. So the more a specific word occurs in the tweets, the bigger and bolder it gets here in the word cloud. So the word Bitcoins we see here is in bold letters, along with blockchains. Along with blockchains. So that is the underlying technology of Bitcoins. Along with that, we see Ethereum, altcoins, cryptocurrency. What are these? So these are actually the alternate cryptocurrencies. So people, when talking about Bitcoins, are also talking about these words. So here, what we can analyze it, people are more talking about Bitcoins, more talking about blockchains, more talking about Ethereum. That is all related to the cryptocurrencies. Okay. Then we'll analyze the overall sentiment of people. Like, what is the sentiment? Yes. So here's what we get, a graph. So it represents the amount of anger or the level to which the anticipation occurs, and the highest level is for positive sentiment. So positive sentiment is the highest amongst all, and the others are then sadness, surprise, trust, fear, joy, disgust. Okay. So this is how we analyze textual data using text mining.
Could we put Donald Trump instead of Bitcoins and see what people are feeling these days? How many of you would like to see that?
Yes, of course.
So folks are excited. Yeah, let's do that. That'll be fun. Yeah. Perhaps we could see the word cloud as well. Mm-hmm.
So here's what we get, a word cloud using the word Donald Trump. So while people are talking about Donald Trump, they are talking about hurricane, President Obama, black lead, and all these words which we see here are being talked about. Okay. So what's the sentiment of people about Donald Trump? Let's gonna see that. Oh my God. The negative sentiment appears to be more. Surprise also, trust, positive, joy. So here's what we see is the overall sentiment of the people.
Definitely, everyone can see the difference between, Bitcoins and Donald Trump, right? So if you look at the sentiment on anger or the sentiment on negativity, it seems to be significantly higher, unfortunately, for Mr. President than it was for Bitcoins, isn't it? This is the power of analytics, folks. So thank you, Alka.
Thank you, Amit.
So I'm going to reclaim the host now, and I want to thank Alka for that little demo there, right? And you can be sure of one thing: even if you do not know a single line of code, folks, we will make sure that you learn R all the way from ground upwards, right, and become an expert at it. It's not a programming language as much as it is an analytics tool. Okay, we're super excited, right? And the throne has been reclaimed. Says Kevin, absolutely. So Kevin, we're super excited, and what we want to do also is make a small gesture and thank you for joining the webinar today. So my small gesture is that I'd like to offer a discount to all the folks that have joined today's webinar, right? If you're based out of India, you will get a discount of 1,000 Indian rupees. You click on the button enroll now, and you can drop us an email, by the way, right? And you can click on view basket, and I'll give you a code NY1000. So if you click on enroll now and click on view basket, you apply the coupon code NY1000. It gives you an immediate 1,000 discount on the already discounted pricing for the course. The only course on the internet where you learn all 4 technologies in one course, right? 3 of which are the leading technologies globally right now. So just to share with you again, it's NY1000. I want you to just take a note of my WhatsApp number. Please do WhatsApp me if you have more questions, okay? So my number is +91 97316 57840, and it's also there on the course page, by the way. So if you go to the course page, you will see, my WhatsApp number over there. And please reach out to us at any time, right? And we'll be more than happy to answer your queries. For those of you that are based out of the US or the Middle East or Europe, you will also receive a discount, and the discount is pretty significant. So it's $289. In the US, the pricing that you see for the course here is $289 for a 51 hours course, right? So that's, all the way till machine learning and R, 17 classes. And in the US, instead of $289, I'm pleased to offer the course at only $239, right? So instead of 289, you'll receive a US dollars 50 discount, and it'll be only $239 for those of you joining in the US or the Middle East or Europe. Okay. So for you, what I need to do is share a specific discounted link, right? So those of you that are based in the US, would you be kind enough to please give me, if you're based out of the international geographies, would you be kind enough to just share your email ID on a private chat with me right now, so that I can send you your discounted link? The important things for you to remember is we have a 21-day refund policy. So at any point in time in 21 days, if for any reason you're not able to continue the learning process, we give you a 100% discount for those 21 days. Now, mind you, we've never actually had people request a discount, but we make sure that we offer you that discount to make you very comfortable. So I've worked at Amazon, and works just like Amazon for 21 days, unconditional refund. Okay. The other piece that you want to think about is that we also give you what we call the Flexi Pass. Okay. Now, what is the Flexi Pass? Right. So I want to talk about that for a quick minute. Flexi Pass means you get, this batch, but you also get to attend the next batch in case you miss any classes. So you get to attend classes all the way till the end of the year, December, right? So even if you miss 3 or 4 classes, don't worry about it. No class depends on the last class. This is very important. All classes are independent of each other, and you have a Flexi Pass to attend all the way till December. Please do share your email ID with me, right? And thanks, Nate, for having shared your email ID. We'll make sure that we give you your, discount link, right? And for the others in India, if you can use NY1000, please do that and take your discounts, or send me your email ID on a private chat, and you're more than welcome to join. Now, by the way, the next class is completely free of cost. So do you all have the link for the next class, or shall we share that with you right now in the chat box? So the class is on Saturday, and you're going to be, at the end of that class, you'll learn so much, about analytics. Thank you, Ankush Singh, for having shared your email ID. I'll make sure that I reach out to you, Ankush. Okay. Please feel free to share your mobile number or WhatsApp number, so I can WhatsApp you as well. Okay. Okay. So one of you have requested, Kevin, you've requested for the class on Saturday. Okay. So the class on Saturday is free of cost. So don't worry, you don't need to pay right away. I want you to join the Saturday class, and then after that, feel free to make your payment whenever you have time on Sunday, right, or Monday. Okay. So I've got a comment from G. Raman. Okay. Hey, Raman, you'd also like the link for the class on Saturday. Okay. All right. So I'll have Alka just share this link, right now with everybody. Nate, don't worry. I'm going to share that with you right away. Please hang in there, folks. Okay. Of course, I've got your email IDs. So Ankush, Nate, you've shared your email IDs. Ankush, you've shared your mobile number as well. And G. Raman, if you could please share your email ID so I don't miss you. Okay. Okay. So Alka is going to share the link for the class in just a very short while. Just give me a second here, folks, while we share that. All right. So what time is the class? Right. That's also important. All right. So let me just convert this. Okay, Kevin Patel also shared the email ID. Thank you, Kevin. I'm going to make sure you get the recording, all of you, for this class. You'll get the presentation, the recording, the data on Tableau. Hey, and by the way, I'm supposed to share how you install Tableau, right, on your computer. So let me go ahead and share the link with you right away. Okay? Of course, it's going to be there in the email, but don't worry about it. Let me also share it with you right away, so you guys can start having some fun on Tableau from the word go. All right, so if you just Google Tableau full trial, okay, it takes you to the Tableau website, folks, right? And on the Tableau website, on the top right corner, you've got the orange button that says try now for free. You click on the button, right, and you get the Tableau download. There you go. Okay. Okay, there you go. I've shared that link, and up above you also have the link to join the next class which Alka has shared, 7:30 p.m. IST or 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US, and that's the link to join that class on Saturday. Okay, by the way, it's on Saturday, and this here above is a link to download Tableau. Okay, you'll also need the data set, right? So I think Alka can share the link to download the dataset as well. So please download and install Tableau from the link above. It's for 14 days. Now your next question is, Amit, what happens after 14 days? Don't worry about it. There's another version of Tableau that you can use forever. So that doesn't have a time limit on it. It's called Tableau Public. But it's not that powerful, so I'll give it to you afterwards. Okay. Okay, I think Alka just shared a link. My apologies. The link is not working right now. Just give us a second here while we get the data link sorted out. Okay. Or what we'll do is, we'll share the data link with all of you on your email IDs, right? So all of you guys have already shared your email IDs with me. Okay, and I'll make sure I email Tuhin and Kevin and Ankush, right, and Nate. Okay, let me just see if Alka shared a new link for the data. Okay, here you go. All right, I think the new link that Alka shared for the data is working. So you can download the Global Superstore data set for your Saturday class from that link. Okay, so do I see all you guys there? Okay, and over here when you click the link, right, on the top right corner there's a download button. There's a blue button that says download. So you need to click the blue button that says download, and then the download will begin on your computers. Okay, there you go. Super, I'm excited. So Kevin says he's going to be there on Saturday. Okay, how about the rest of you folks? Are you going to party or are you going to learn analytics? All right. Tuhin, I'm going to see you, right? Nate, learning analytics. It's superb. Tuhin, all right, great. Thank you everyone for your time, and I'm really happy, to be connected to all of you. And Ankush said, please share all of the links in the email. You will get all the links, right? Quora, Facebook, Tableau downloads, data downloads, and everything. And Tuhin says it was a great session. Okay, thank you so much. And I have just one request for you. Okay, if you can please go to our Facebook page and like our page, and please rate this particular session. Here's the link. Okay, so what you need to do is just go down there on that page, and where you have the reviews, you guys can actually see all the reviews and you can write your review. And to give you a specific link for the review, here it is. So at least please like our page, Ankush, Tuhin, and if you want to rate us 5, please do that. And I want to thank you all for your time. Again, see you guys all on Saturday. Alka is also saying goodbye to everyone. So thank you, and see you all folks on Saturday. Good night or good morning. Have a great day if you're in the US, and good night if you're in the Indian subcontinent or in the Middle East. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks Tuhin, Nate. Thanks Kevin.